Since the dawn of history, human beings have realized various forms of energy. Civilizations have progressed with them. So where does such energy like Metatron lead our civilization?
Whoa. Really makes you think.
So this is Zone of the Enders, the second runner. I'm told it's a better game, and I know for a fact it's a much longer game.
Oh yes, it's a far better game. For this game, we'll be playing on normal rather than hard because the sequel is much more difficult than the first game was.
MR-1422, Dingo Egret, unlocked.
Angie, I remember now. The winner of the year was Hesperia Gales.
No idle talk, you'll crash, Dingo.
In the final 30 seconds, Henry G trashed out from field out. Man, we had a great time that night.
20 to touchdown. Can't wait for the new season.
Position for landing. The people on Mars can start getting excited. I still have 200 more hours.
Be a good kid and the time will fly.
That's unusual.
What is?
Indications of Metatron, but it's way too shallow. Angie, I want to change the landing point. I'll check it out.
Okay.
Rick, you hear that? I'll be back soon.
Dingo, what team won in '66?
I don't know much about back then.
Recalibrated. Autopilot.
Piece of junk.
Cancelled.
I reckon Rod Tharsis is going to win this year.
There goes your entire salary again.
I'm sure of it.
So here's something great. We get to pilot Olev for a little bit.
Okay.
Dingo, I think the Metatron reaction is from the direction of the arrow.
I got you.
Oh yeah, this game looks brilliant. I love Waddle Simulator 2013.
If you listen here and Dingo starts talking,
You may crash. Beware.
Darn. Damn jalopy.
Hey!
that is when people say stuff in this game, you can either click in the left stick or the right stick to have Dingo respond positively or negatively. You can do this basically non-stop in the game, and it's great. You can also just mine rocks and make them blow up.
Sure.
It doesn't matter, but you can make rocks blow up. So aside from waddling and mining, you can also jump just a tiny bit. And you can also fly for a very short period of time.
Dingo, haven't you arrived yet?
Okay.
Was that positive or negative?
Don't push the
That
button
was
so hard.
negative.
Oh, okay.
There are certain lines that have just one specific response, and it doesn't matter which one you click in, like right here.
Hey, Dingo, after this job, are you free?
Today? Again?
No matter what you press, you're going to get that one. Bonk.
Oh dear. Oh, Dingo. Why do they trust you with this expensive machinery?
I'm on the ground.
The Metatron is not very deep.
And it's very strong. It wasn't here last time I came.
Going back. Going back. Going.
Shut up!
Is it debris?
The observation crews are goofing off again. What the hell is that?
Anything wrong?
I found something interesting. I'll check it out.
Hatch unlocked. Where? A helmet.
I've got a bad feeling.
What?
An orbital frame.
Dingo, I see a huge ship over there. Ah!
What's happening, Angie? What ship did you see? Angie! Damn. A warship? Must be Baram. My liver's damaged. Damn Baram.
Baram, from Mars? How can you tell?
Get your ship down into the ditch and stay hidden.
But yeah, even just the normal combat, which might look kind of familiar, feels a lot faster and also like a lot snappier and more responsive too.
Yeah.
Raptor destroyed.
Confirming the enemy destroyed.
What is the efficiency of this frame?
This is orbital frame Jehuti. Do you want me to explain how to manipulate the frame?
Who is this?
This is Detached Backup Battle Unit, ADA.
So this is a battle computer, isn't it? More reliable than the Lev's navigators.
I'm completely different. Do you request control instructions?
Yes, Ada. Please.
So yeah, real quick, especially if you didn't see the first LP. Let's see how this works.
Yeah.
So first of all, you can just, whenever you lock onto an enemy, you just orbit around them. You're always flying
an orbital frame after all.
The triangle and X buttons let you go up and down. The right trigger lets you dash. You can combine all those, just flip around like crazy all over everything. It's great. You have one button for attacking. If you're up close, do that little melee attack. If you're far away, you shoot these little lasers. Now, though, there's pressure sensitivity, so if you press the button harder, you shoot these slower moving but more damaging shots.
Oh, okay.
This game uses a lot of pressure sensitivity for its attacks. You also have different attacks for whether you're dashing, so a single hit that can knock enemies around and is pretty quick. And long range, you have homing lasers, except in this game, they're incredibly useful instead of being very bad like in the first game.
Oh, well, that's nice.
If you're holding the dash button while staying still, you do that burst attack. Close range is a spin attack. Long range is a volleyball.
Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep. Guarding lets you block all normal attacks, but it cannot block grabs, and it can't block burst attacks. Same thing goes for enemies. They cannot guard burst attacks either. Here's a completely new thing, though. The final hit of your attack normally pushes enemies backwards.
Oh, okay.
But you have those buttons for moving up and down. If you press that button for the final hit of your combo instead of the normal one, you'll knock them either upwards or downwards.
Oh.
This is really good because enemies take damage from being knocked into stuff. Both enemies and the environment. So you can knock people into either floors, walls, or ceilings to basically add an extra hit worth of damage on them.
Nice.
It's pretty neat. There are other ways later on to kind of amplify how much damage that does. But for the most part, it's really useful, but easy to forget about.
We found our objective at point 04.
Roger. Departing for 04.
Approaching. Unmanned battle planes.
Why does the evil orbital frame always have to be a lady?
I don't know.
Combat aircraft.
I guess, I mean, there's only one good orbital frame.
Yeah.
But none of them, like, you have Jehudi's kind of a dude.
Yep.
Your rival's always a lady, and then it's a bunch of sea creatures.
So the homing lasers are great because also, the longer you hold down the button, the more targets you lock onto. You can lock onto, like, around 32 or so targets.
That's a good number. Yeah.
Homing lasers in this game are extremely handy because on top of being able to hit multiple targets at once, they're also really good for stunning enemies.
Put me through to 663.
Yes, I'll connect you now.
Help me, Dingo!
Where are you?
My legs are damaged!
Rick, where are you now? Don't move! I'll be there soon!
Enemy approaching.
It's approaching your way!
I can get the position of Rick with an
So yeah,
arrow.
these raptors are flying pretty low, which is a good opportunity to smash them right to the ground.
Haha, take that.
Enemies in this game are far more aggressive than they were in the previous game. Even raptors can mess you up very quickly. Because in the previous game, enemies, even if there was a group of enemies, for the most part, they would basically fight you one-on-one and wait their turn.
Right.
In this game, they never do that. So even 3 raptors is pretty dangerous. Especially since they're actually decent at dodging your attacks.
Yeah, look at that. Who does that raptor think he is? Come on.
Yeah. Just like in the previous game, enemies can also level up. When you're locked onto an enemy, there will be a little level indicator next to their health bar. They don't really gain new attacks when they level up now. Rather, they're just more aggressive and they have more health and do more damage.
Okay.
And if you need to, you can just completely unlock from enemies, because you don't actually need to defeat those guys to progress. Speedrun tip.
Enemy reinforcements. Pay attention to your back.
So one of the great things is before in the previous game you could punch or grab an enemy and punch them back at another.
Yeah.
That's been far improved.
Ooh.
You'll see in a second. You can hold on to enemies now.
Ah, yes, you are my friend now.
Throwing does a lot of damage, and it's really quick. It's extremely useful to weed out enemies. It's just grabbing another one to use as a weapon. And there's some more abilities for the throw a little bit later on that are really just ridiculously fun to use.
Okay, what if instead of like Jehudi being upgraded in between games,
Yeah.
we just assume that Dingo Egret is a much better pilot?
I think that might be the case. Although Jehudi does have a slightly different paint job now. More muted in color. So let's talk about the throw.
Mm-hmm.
If we grab somebody,
Yes.
we can swing them around as a weapon, which does damage to both. And also, if I rapidly tap the throw button, I can spin him around and round and throw him even faster.
Metatron.
Now that's how you mine.
Yeah.
The cursor is on. Destroy with a burst attack. Stop
So with the
moving
long-range
and
burst
keep
attack, you can
pressing
also
R2
charge it up to make it even bigger.
Square button for a burst attack.
Just does more damage, and it's cool.
Nice.
on Jehuti, you'll have to give it to me.
What does Bara want with Callisto?
Oh? You don't look like a mining man to me.
Get lost!
Yeehaw! Hand over Jehuti!
So the first boss is Arjet. She blocks a lot, which means she's pretty weak to burst attacks.
Shoot down the enemy's attack with lasers.
She has a lot of openings since a lot of her attacks have cooldown, like she has to recover from shooting all the little homing missiles and all that. It's also really easy to lure her to the ground, which means combo smash.
Combo smash!
Make really quick work of her.
Again!
And again, this game also has a versus mode, and Arjet is one of the playable characters.
Oh, nice.
Nearly every single boss character in this game is playable in versus mode. There's like 1 or 2 exceptions, I think.
How about this?
And that little thing where she transforms there, she transforms into like a coffin?
She evolved into Kakuna.
Yeah, that mode there is based on another orbital frame design from earlier on that was just permanently shaped like a coffin. And I was like, that's cool, put it in somewhere.
What does it do? It reminds you of your own mortality.
Oh god, what a horrible thing to pilot.
It's more of a psychological weapon.
Frame, don't you?
Maybe.
Even if you're bar-armed, that's too rough.
It sure is.
Who's the commander?
You think I'll tell?
Great!
Good job, Dingo.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Dingo, the enemy is approaching me!
All right, I'll try to head them off.
You will?
Take care, Angie.
What?
High energy reaction inside enemy battleship. Entry is dangerous.
If we don't do something, we'll be crushed along with Callisto. We have no choice.
Wait, they're crushing the entire moon?
I feel like Dingo's just a little dramatic. He's a great guy to hang out with at work, but man, if anything even slightly bad happens, he just blows it way out of proportion.
Like, this is so big, you can see it from Earth with a simple telescope. It's like literally the first telescope ever made. You can see it.
So some enemies like to grab you if you block for too long.
Let me go.
These spiders also have like a permanent shield going on there, which means they take lots of hits. But that also means they're really good as weapons to swing around when you grab them.
Sure.
Because it takes a long time for them to break. Their shield only shields them from the top, so if you shoot them from below while they're jumping, they die in 1 hit. And just generally throwing them or something will knock their shield out. So they're not too bad. They can be a little annoying.
To switch lock-on targets, use the L.
But you may have noticed from the cutscenes that have happened so far, but it's going to become far more apparent in the later parts of this video and also just the rest of the game. One, this game was localized very strangely. It feels like they tried to go as literally as possible with the Japanese and also sometimes just mistranslated things or picked really awkward phrasing.
Oh, well, this will be fun.
Yeah, and on top of that, the voice acting direction is not very good. Especially Dingo, who you will see has a very hard time pronouncing Jehuti.
Imagine he has to say that a lot.
Yeah.
You can grab objects which may be useful in battle with the circle button. Do you want to see how it's done?
Yes, please.
But, yeah, because that, like, this game's already just a good action game, but on top of that, the really not great voice acting and hilarious translation, like, makes it even better for me.
Roger, I'll finish it
You can also rip, like, giant support beams and some other objects off the environment.
Sure, why not? Go for
Anytime
it.
cellars are open, they just spew out tons of enemies. So it's best to try and take those out first before taking care of the rest of the enemies. Here it's not that bad because it just shoots little mosquitoes out, but a lot of time it will just shoot out tons of raptors at you.
So the best thing to do is to just gut this spaceship you've invaded.
Yeah. So there's the mummy head.
Welcome back, friend. Yeah.
They change up some of the enemy types to have more functions. So for instance, well also, sellers take very little damage when they're closed. So you have to wait for them to start spawning enemies to do a lot of damage to them. But if you damage an enemy and there's a mummy head present, sometimes the enemies will retreat so that they can be healed by the mummy head. They'll just link up.
Oh, look at that.
But that also means it's a really easy opportunity to grab the mummy head and swing around, and they are also very good weapons to swing around.
Well, naturally.
If you do a small amount of damage that's just barely enough to kill a mummy head, it'll actually just break the shell and a raptor will pop out of it.
It's like a Christmas present.
Yeah. Collectibles. There's one type. These things appear sometimes, and they unlock extra VR missions, kind of like the VR missions in Metal Gear Solid 2. They're pretty fun. They also unlock like boss rush and stuff later on.
After all, they want this frame, don't they?
Did you board this even though you knew?
I didn't want to involve my friends. Also, there's something I have to confirm.
Okay, sure. Whatever you say, Dingo.
What did you say, Dingo?
I can't say no to you, Dingo. You have a funny name.
I would like you to mention a thing before talking about the thing from now on, Dingo.
The gate to the next unit is open. Please follow the arrow.
Okay.
That's his generic, positive response to things. Okay.
Okay.
This is the second boss, Nephthys. The beginning of this game throws a lot of stuff at you really quick, especially boss fight-wise.
Yeah. This is the first video and the second boss?
Yeah, well...
Are you sure this isn't a speedrun? Are we on world record pace right now? What is this?
I don't know the world record, but I could say, depending on what type of run you're doing, because there's a couple different types of runs to do with this game, it's possible to beat this game in a little over an hour, I think.
Sure.
But that's with... this game has New Game Plus, so there's ways to carry over late game abilities that let you run through it much faster. But yeah, with Nephthys, it dodges way too fast and it has a permanent shield that nullifies all damage, so the only way to hurt Nephthys is with thrown objects.
Is that you? Viola?
Perhaps you're speaking to a battle AI.
She's AI? Hey, Viola!
It is just a replica being made by using her past battle data and part of her character. I don't think you can get a response from her.
So, what happened to Viola?
The applicable frame runner is already dead.
She died?
In the year 2172, the Antilia raid. It was a matter under the control of the Space Force. Bahram attacked the colony orbiting a satellite of Jupiter and stole an orbital frame which was under development.
Was she involved with that? Which orbital frame was taken?
The orbital frame Anubis. Jehuti was their target too, but they didn't get this frame.
Jehuti was collected by someone who had much to fear from Bahram before it was abandoned on Callisto.
That is about right.
Who was commanding the Antilia raid?
That was the commander of Bahram, Colonel Noman.
Noman. What's the matter?
It is a resonance reaction.
Resonance?
It is Anubis.
The commander of the raid is Noman, who was a character in the previous game, but you only heard him talking to Viola a couple times over the radio.
Give that orbital frame back. Who's the runner?
Yeah, this is... You fight Anubis at the end of the previous game, and he was basically impossible. Thankfully now, it's difficult, but it is possible to do damage to Anubis. You just have to nick him right before he's about to do close-range attacks on you. Homing lasers can sometimes hit him too.
But don't count on it, I guess.
Yeah. But he likes to teleport a whole lot, and if his attacks do hit you, they do a ton of damage. Also, this is his first attack. It's a crazy particle effect arrowhead that just chases you non-stop.
Oh my god! Look at her go! That's the fucking Terminator of burst attacks. You cannot stop it.
It's possible to stay ahead of it, but only if you're boosting, just repeatedly boosting over and over.
Useless. Damn, it's too tough! You. Norman. It's DINGO. I'm surprised you're still alive, Dingo.
Long time no see, Noman.
How have you been?
I've been on vacation.
You get off and come to my room.
What are you doing on this ship anyway?
If anything happens to my pals on Callisto, you'll pay.
I didn't kill them.
I don't believe you.
Your skills are getting worse, Dingo. You've been slacking off.
Noman.
Ken, back off. Let me introduce you to Dingo. He was the leading pilot in our unit 6 years ago.
Dingo Egret?
Military records show him dead.
You're doing rather menial work compared to the old days. Have you been demoted to the outskirts?
Shut up. You have come back under my command.
Come back? You must be kidding!
You'd better come back. It'll be fun from now on.
I refuse! Your fooling around almost killed me back there. It's not funny.
You don't understand.
You can't deceive me with beautiful words like freedom and independence anymore. Do you realize how many of my comrades died back there? Say it. You killed them!
I wouldn't know.
You devil! Dingo!
Come back. I like you.
You make me sick.
You dispose of the body.
Help me if you want to live.